Hey guys, Dion here with Your Guitar Academy, working with the Guitar Magazine, and today I'm going to show you how to play the chords and the solo in New Light by John Mayer. So the verse chords go something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's me playing those as open chords. Okay, so this is a great song if you're kind of not comfortable with bar chords just yet. You can play these parts as these open chords just as I'm about to show you, and it will still sound just as good. But I'll also show you which bar chords I would use for anyone who wants to try that as well. So the chords are as follows. So we've got an A minor, we've got a D major, we've got a G, and then we have a C. And then what happens is at the end of that bar, so we go 1, 2, 3, and then on the fourth beat, you play a G over B. So that means we're playing a G chord, but instead of having a G as our root note, as our bass note, we've got this B on the second fret of A as our bass note. So once again, it's a funny one, this song, because there's not really kind of any distinct rhythmic part on the track, except for the kind of funky section, which I'll show you in a bit. So what I would suggest is kind of just padding the chords out, and that means to just allow them to ring out. So the way I would play it, as I just demonstrated, would be to allow the chords to ring out for each bar. So it would sound something like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so on and so forth. And this is roughly about 124 BPM or something, this song. So for anyone who wants to try bar chords, I would play them like this. So I would use my E minor shape, A minor. So that's with my first finger barred across fret 5. And then I'm using my third finger to play fret 7 on A, and fourth finger to play fret 7 on D, like so. And then I would use my A shape to play a D. So that's where I play with my first finger on the 5th fret of A, and then I bar with my third finger across the 7th fret of D, G, and B. And then I use my E shape to play a G, so that's barring with my first finger across all 6 strings on fret 3. And then I've got finger number 3 playing fret 5 on A, 4 plays fret 5 on the D string, and finger 2 plays fret 4 on the G. Okay, and then I would use the same A shape that I used there to play the C chord. Okay, so I use that same shape that was here, just down a tone to play a C. And then after that, I play that G over B. So the G over B, for anyone who's not sure, is the low E string is not played, so we missed that one out. I've got my first finger on fret 2 of A, and then open D, open G, third finger on the 3rd fret of B, fourth finger on the 3rd fret of G. So if you were to play it with bar chords, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on and so forth. So again, with open chords, it would still sound just as cool, I think. Okay, so those are the verse chords. So interestingly enough, actually just before it hits the chorus, he adds in a B7 chord. So what will happen is he'll go 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll show you a couple of voicings for this chord. So you can either play it in your open position, so that would be second finger on the 2nd fret of A, first finger on the 1st fret of D, third finger on the 2nd fret of G, open B, fourth finger on the 2nd fret of E, like so, and the E string, the low E, is not played on this one. Or you can use a bar chord shape up on the 7th fret. So I'd play my standard E-shaped bar chord, which we used for the G earlier, but up on fret 7. And then to turn it into a dominant 7th chord, which is what is played in this song, you remove your 4th finger and you get that note there, which your 1st finger should be barring. So it sounds like so. And the progression would go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Okay, and then you're back to the verse chords for the chorus part. Okay, and that's how you play the chords in this song. So let's take a second to talk about the latter section, which is where he starts playing this kind of funky guitar part. Okay, so let me lay down the chords with a looper, just the bass chords as I did there, and then I'll play this funky part on the top, and you'll hear how it sounds. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the funky part goes. Okay, so he's basically kind of vamping a single chord shape over the top of those open chords, and it kind of builds this really cool, like, rhythmic kind of part that is brought to the forefront of the song. So this is what John Mayer is superb at, is building parts on a track. So you'll hear his guitar parts on his albums and all of his singles, there's so many layers to kind of what he's playing. So this actual voicing here, it's very kind of like a Nile Rodgers funk style of playing. So we're actually playing, I mean, you can kind of either view it as like an E minor 7, okay, or the G caged shape using a C shape. So I'm probably going to call it that for now because we're in the key of G for this song, so that would make a lot more sense. So this particular shape, he's not actually using the root note, so the 4th finger there is removed for this. So we're starting with our 1st finger on fret 7 of D, and I've barred over the D, G and B strings there on the 7th fret with that 1st finger. Okay, and what's happening is he hammers with his 2nd and 3rd fingers onto frets 9 on D and 8 on B, and that 1st finger is still barred. So what you have, your 1st position of the chord is like this, and then when he hammers, you have that. So that's 9, 9, 7 and 8 on the D, G and B strings. And you want to get used to going. So you see what I'm doing, I'm starting with my fingers barred, and then I'm strumming, hammering. Okay, and with this part, you have to be moving your hand in a very kind of fast 16th note fashion. So I'll show you how you do that with the drum machine. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's really quite quick, okay? So if you're finding this difficult, you want to slow it down. Definitely use a metronome or a drum machine for this. So let me just slow it down a little bit, and then I'll count it out for you, and you can hear how it's working with that. So with 16th notes, you're basically going to want to play 4 strums for every single beat that you have. So it's 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a and what happens is the strumming pattern is something like. Okay, so let me break that down real slow. So we go downstroke, hammer on using the little shape that I showed you earlier, and then we go up, and then down, down. So once again, a lot slower. So you see how whilst I'm not strumming every time, you see how my hand continues to move. So once again, down, up, down, down. Okay, so with the drum machine, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. Yeah. And he makes it very staccato, which means to cut the notes very short. So. then sometimes he goes, okay, so that's basically what he's done there is kept that shape down, as we saw earlier, and he's brought his fourth finger onto fret number 10 of the B string and gone, so that's just 4 in a row, da 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 da, down, up, like so. So let's once again hear full tempo how it sounds. Okay, if I loop the chords as well, so about 1, 2, 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's my padded chords going. When you add this funky part, okay, so that's what that sounds like with the drum machine as well, and you can see it just creates this really cool kind of groovy vibe over those padded chords. Okay, so that's how you play the funky section of this song. So next, let's talk about the solo.